This episode is brought to you by O2, the official recovery drink of the Noble CrossFit Games. For more information, you can use the QR code or you can click the link in the show notes below.
Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez
and me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
Welcome back to another episode of Best Hour of Their Day. If you're a longtime listener of this podcast and you've been listening since day one, 2019, early in 2019, you will remember James McDermott from some of the early episodes about on-ramp and coaches development. So go back. I think they were like episodes 2, 3, maybe, James, like old episodes. We're 500 deep now. So 500 episodes ago.
Was it not the first episode? I don't know. I'd have to go check.
You might actually be right, James. You may have been long before Fern came on board. The James and Jay show.
Long before Fern. For a little while there, I had more episodes than Austin, and I don't know, maybe I might be overtaking him right now.
This may be the 5 Timers Club. I need to get you like a nice jacket that you wear, like proudly saying you've been on the best hour of their day 5 times. But for those that don't know, James showed up at Albany CrossFit, fresh graduate from Binghamton University, asking to intern, and I was like, you want to work here for free? Absolutely. Started by, from toilets to the president of the New York chapter of the USAW, right?
Yeah. Well, first it's SUNY Cortland, not Binghamton.
SUNY Cortland. I said Binghamton. They're all the SUNY schools.
Well, hold on. Wait, hold on. There are a lot of fellow Red Dragons out there that would beg to differ.
Gotcha. Cortland.
So SUNY Cortland. You
lived in Binghamton, though.
Yeah, to be fair, I lived in Binghamton.
Okay.
I commuted. But so to go back to what you were saying, I showed up at Albany CrossFit to intern. It was a part of my degree requirement. And so I did everything from mopping the floors, stocking the shelves, shadowing coaches, and of course, cleaning the bathrooms, which that should be, something that's not below any coach or affiliate owner.
That's right. We just had Josh Malone on from CrossFit Mayhem. And he was talking about just that. He runs CrossFit Mayhem, but he's not above cleaning the toilets. And that's what makes a great leader. Unfortunately, back in the day, I would refuse to clean the toilet. So I wasn't that great of a leader.
I mean, hey, maybe I'll come back on another episode and we can talk all about your leadership skills during that time. And we should have Fern on for that one as well.
Well, I don't know if you listened, but we had Kevin Houston on when we were in Austin. And he already dished plenty of dirt. I don't know if we need to revisit that.
No. I have more. I have better dirt. I listened to that episode, and Kevin went easy on you. It was soft. Like, did you give him a 20 before class?
I had to give him 100 to go that soft.
Okay, yeah. So anyways, yeah. And like you said, I am now I'm the head coach at Albany CrossFit, and I'm also the president of the executive board for the New York Weightlifting State Organization. And we work under USA Weightlifting to promote the sport of weightlifting at a grassroots level in New York State.
I mean, for me, it's awesome to see your growth and development, from the coach's perspective. You got your level 3, by the way. I think that's important to note. And
one of the proudest things I've ever done in CrossFit is that.
You must have had to revalidate at this point.
It's coming up next year.
So it's been almost 3 years.
Getting all my CEUs right now.
Yeah, well, affiliate you get 50 CEUs. If you can get the owner of Albany CrossFit to sign up for affiliate you can get all those CEUs.
Well, I did it right. My level 2 was going to expire March 31st, 2020, right as soon as we locked down. So I had to get in there and do it. And then we were closed for a while.
Well, good stuff. A lot of people choose to redo their level 2. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm always impressed by someone that says, hey, you know what? I care about this thing and I want to, earn the highest credential and be the best coach I can be. So kudos to you and great to see you. I mean, I think you've been at Albany CrossFit at this point longer than I was.
11 years. Yeah.
Wow. You've been there So you came on in around 2011?
Yep. May 23rd, 2011 was my first day at Albany CrossFit. It was a Monday.
How do you remember that date?
Just dude, I remember important things that have happened in my life, and that was a very important day.
11 years. So when I opened around September of 2007 and sold right around the end of the summer of 2000. I don't remember if it was 13 or 14, actually.
I want to say 14.
Yeah, so 7 years maybe I was there. So you've been there 4 years longer than I, as other coaches have been there longer than me as well now.
Yep. Murph, Pat, Shy, they've all been there longer than you have now, and longer than I have, because they were there before me.
Yeah, but it's awesome to see that it's, still alive and kicking, but we're not here to talk about that. Let's do a dish the dirt episode in the future. I think that'll be a lot of fun. What we are here to talk about.
I will start taking notes immediately after we're done with this.
I'm sure they're top of mind for you, James. Give me one thing before we kick off and talk about the real topic.
All right.
Take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. It's early here. I don't need to get all anxious and stressed out right now.
Let me see here. All right, I'll keep it clean.
Yes, please. I've matured. I don't, I run clean these days.
Yes. I mean,
baby girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Someday your daughter's going to listen to this episode, and
this is my legacy. This is what she will listen to. Yeah,
exactly. There was a time when I was sitting at home working for Albany CrossFit. I was doing membership stuff. It's late at night or in the evening. So I'm working off hours, as we often did. We worked about 70 to 80 hour, weeks back then.
I agree. Yes.
Yep. And that also meant at all hours of the day, you could get a text from the owner, who was a crazy micromanaging person. And I got a text from you about, hey, there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. and you were apparently already in the bathroom and had already done what you needed to do, and then realized that there was no toilet paper. And you proceeded to berate me and to blame me and to ask me why this happened and other things that I can't say on the podcast.
That sounds like me. That was me. You'll be happy to know I'm probably the opposite of a micromanager these days.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of, you let your team fly. If they, I always tell new hires for best hour or, anyone interning, like, I'd rather you make mistakes because you're trying than, me have to stay on top of you and lead you. So I've come a long way, James. I no longer text people about toilet paper. Although
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like it was justified. Okay.
Well,
let's
actually what we need is I guess Fern could be there, but we probably also need a therapist to come on.
And we need a roast. Remember we did a roast one year at Albany CrossFit? Were you there when we did that?
No, I don't think so. I was there for 2 talent shows that you did, but I don't think the roast.
We did a roast one time, which I don't recommend box owners do at their affiliate, because inevitably feelings get hurt. I have thick skin, but not every member does. And pretty sure feelings were hurt at that roast. But, the coaches sat up there. So I think it was like me, Caleb, Kevin, maybe Dean at the time, and members roasted us, but then we roasted the members. And it was just as cringy as the Office episode where Michael Scott got roasted and then upset about it. So
every day was an Office episode at Albany CrossFit during that time.
It truly was. Our director of operations, Katie, for Best Hour, hears these stories, and we're both big Office fans and we bond over that. And she always says, you truly were Michael Scott. And, when Kevin told the story about Dean and Savannah and me with the diabetes, and it was like, wow, I realized I was like, oh, I am Michael Scott. Like, that was me back then.
Yeah. But it's also, it's important to note that, like, when you watch The Office, it's funny. When you're living it, it's not funny.
All right. Topic at hand. If you're watching, you see this copy right here, American Weightlifting, Glenn Pendlay's story. You got a copy as well. And if you open it up and you scroll to the author page, American Weightlifting, Glenn Pendlay with James McDermott and Mike Prevost. Did I say that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm really proud of you. You wrote another book. What's this? Your fifth book?
This is number 3.
Oh, that's
Number 3.
Oh, I gave you too much credit. You wrote John
no,
North's
number
book.
4 is coming. Number 4 is coming.
Are you allowed to talk about who that's with? I think I know, but I don't know if you want to share it.
Yeah, I won't share it. It's still going.
But the book we've talked about in private.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm excited for that one. So I have all 3 of your books. The other 2 are in the closet. I got the Attitude Nation, or it's actually called what's it called? The Dark
Orchestra.
The Dark Orchestra, right? So John North's book, hardcover. Yep. I've got, by the way, hardcover, and then of course the book that you and I wrote together on your eating, the Definitive Guide to Flexible Eating.
Yep. Bestseller.
Which is your most proud work? Is it the Definitive Guide? Is it?
It's kind of like a parent with their children. Maybe once you have more children, you will experience this, but you don't have a favorite. You love them all. Yeah. But then also probably on the inside, you do have a favorite. But
yeah, I was gonna say you do. I mean, we only got 1 child, but I've got 3 dogs, and let me tell you, you got favorites. But you sent me a copy of this book, and I was
does that mean that at some points your dogs are ranking above your daughter?
There are times. But I got this book like the day or 2 before I was about to go on vacation. I was excited. I was like, I'm going to take it with me. I'm like, I can't take this thing with me. It's like a brick. It's huge. How long did this take you guys to write?
6 years.
6 years. And I think we should say, unfortunately, since you began, Glenn Pendlay had passed away.
Yes. So a little bit of background. Glenn had started working on this book in the early 2000s, and who knows how long before that he had in his head that he wanted to write a book. In 2013, he had a stroke, and he wasn't able to see anymore, especially a computer screen. He could see like moving around a little bit, but not a computer screen. So he needed someone that knew weightlifting and could help him write a book. And I had experience from John North's book. So we got into contact with one another and we started working on it. So I was only working with Glenn, together on the book for about 3 years. And then he passed away. And then it took about another 3 years of me going solo to finish it out for him.
So you got to know Glenn through John. Those that don't know John, he was on what was the name of the team?
He was on the Cal Strength team and the Muscle Driver team.
And those were both coached by Glenn?
Yes. Yeah.
And so you got to know Glenn through, and you met John, by the way, because we were one of the first affiliates to host his seminar back in the day.
Yeah. So I guess let me go into the whole crazy story.
John North is a little crazy, but do you still stay in touch with John?
Oh yeah, we talk weekly. We talk a lot.
Yeah, I see his social media a little bit, but yeah, he's a great human being. I mean, the one thing I remember is he would literally just grab random people's coffees and pound them at at a seminar, people paying him money. He would just walk up, grab your coffee and drink. And I'm like, dude, and but you're like, it's John North. What am I going to do?
See, there's a misconception about John North. He is not crazy. Or if he is crazy, he's crazy for weightlifting. And also he's crazy for God because he's deep into his spirituality now.
This is new.
It was after his he had a heart attack.
Right.
So after that. But he's not crazy. But I think most people aren't used to that level of passion. Like that you don't see it every single day in your regular job at the office, or whatever it is that you do. And I hope that you do. And I hope you have the level of passion that John has for weightlifting.
That's a really good statement. Like, I think people that are passionate about something often get I mean, let's be honest, there's a little crazy there, but yeah, like if someone is so passionate about something, you'd be like, that dude's crazy. Like people say the same thing about me with CrossFit. Like I defend it, all the way. I'm passionate about it. It's like, I'm sure people say, hey, that dude Ackerman is crazy.
Yeah. Well, and also to do what we all do, to go under a snatch or a heavy clean and jerk that you've never done before, and to put away all that fear, you have to have a little bit of an edge to you. You have to have a little bit of craziness. But I think what most people are taken aback by is his high level of passion, and they don't know how to interpret it. And they may also, there are, over the years I've witnessed, there are a lot of people that take his passion negatively because they wish they could they could have that. They wish that they could enjoy, life as much as he does, and you've experienced this. Most people who are very negative and criticize a certain way, they're really just unhappy with their current circumstances. And I can tell you right now, anyone that dislikes John, anyone that, hates him for whatever reason, if you reached out to him, he would help you. He would be the most kind, courteous person and generous person you could ever imagine. And I think it would instantly change your perspective of him.
That's interesting you say that. I say the same thing about Dave Castro. If you only look at people from a social media perspective, it's easy to be like, that dude's a jerk or this and that. And then like Dave's the same. Like if I've truly ever needed anything, I know if I reached out to that guy, he would help me. He's the, the scene in the town. Hey, we're going to go hurt some people. Whose car are we taking?
Yeah.
That's Castro.
Yeah. It's like, don't hate on people for being authentic and their true self. Maybe look inward and wonder why you are not being authentic.
So tell the full story.
So the full story, I did my internship in 2011, as we talked about. Then I went back, finished my degree at SUNY Cortland. I have a bachelor's of science in fitness development, exercise science. So after that, I came back and you guys hired me on full time. And this is summer of 2012. And John North was doing a seminar like right away. And I'd never been to a seminar before. And I didn't know a whole lot about Olympic weightlifting, because I was a power lifter originally and then a CrossFitter. And then I'm like, well, I don't know anything about snatch and clean jerk. And really, a lot of people back then really didn't have a firm grasp on weightlifting. It was still kind of a very underground sport. And because of CrossFit and people like John and people like Glenn Pendlay, it blew up. So I asked,
I would say like CrossFit helped save weightlifting, but without the right people in place, it wouldn't, weightlifting wouldn't have grown on its own. Right. Like I think CrossFit showed the world of CrossFitters like, hey, you need to do these. I had been in the fitness industry over 20 years, never done a snatch or a clean and jerk. But then a lot of people transition from CrossFit to weightlifting because people like Glenn, because people like John are there to show them what they can do with this sport.
Exactly. They were the early adopters. They were the people, love them or hate them. They saw something in CrossFit and they embraced that community and brought them into the weightlifting community.
Which most people don't. They're like, you see it to this day, like, oh, we're weightlifting. That CrossFit thing is stupid. They were ahead of their time saying like, hey, we recognize this is going to be beneficial to our sport too.
Yeah.
I mean, John came to a CrossFit affiliate.
He did. And also, it should be noted, and I'm sure everyone that listens to this show knows, Mike Bergner was also a huge part of that.
Coach B, amazing. Yeah, we got to give Coach B that shout out too.
But if you were going to have a Mount Rushmore of the people that bridge the gap between weightlifting and CrossFit.
Oh, I know. I'll tell you mine. Who's your fourth? Because you're going to go Coach B, Glenn, John. Who's your fourth?
My fourth?
I'll tell you who it is. You're going to get this wrong.
I'm going to assume you're going to maybe say Mark Ripito.
No, I was going to go Glassman because without Glassman, we wouldn't have had Glassman's truly the founder of that, right? Like if CrossFit doesn't come along, weightlifting doesn't grow to where it is today. Like CrossFit and Greg showed like, hey, like these are very important aspects of fitness that most people aren't doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you put Ripito on there?
No. That's just what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were big into Rip back in the day. But no, I think any legitimate Mount Rushmore that involves anything on CrossFit, by default, Glassman should get a spot. But then
you almost
of course,
can't put him on Rushmore. Like he's almost got to be like this father. He gets his own monument. But who would you put your fourth Olympic lifter then?
Hey guys, Fern here, best hour. Real quick, if you want to build a fantastic affiliate like Cal Harbor, if you want to have the affiliate of your dreams, you have to learn how to build a really great team. What's one of the biggest improvements that you've seen over the past year?
At the box, dedication of my coaches, invested, caring to make themselves just better at what they do. I see the coaches just invested in themselves.
It's hard. You got to put systems in place. It's one of affiliate owners' biggest struggles. If that's something you're struggling with, reach out. We can help you guys. This can and should be fun. CrossFit's amazing. You can make it amazing for you and your team.
Fourth Olympic lifter. All right, this one's a little weird. It's a contributor.
Me? Is it me?
No, it's not you. I would say hook grip. Like the company as kind of a whole, but Nat Arem is the founder and the guy that does all the photography. But those slow-mo videos did a lot. They made it cool to watch weightlifting. People were looking up YouTube videos. That guy's YouTube channel, along with Cal Strength's YouTube channel, really helped to excite people. And of course, Glenn kind of embodies, and John, Cal Strength and Muscle Driver and everything that kind of comes with them on the Mount Rushmore.
What about Josh Everett?
Yeah, I could say, I guess that if you wanted to, you could also probably Greg Everett.
That's what I meant to. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Greg Everett, Catalyst Athletics.
Yeah, I think all right. Maybe that's probably the best ultimate Mount Rushmore would be John.
Sponsored by Hook Grip.
Yeah, sponsored. Yeah, the Mount Rushmore is sponsored by Hook Grip. There we go. I think we just did it.
Here's what I do want to say. Like you were telling your story, the important aspect to me is, and I think we've said this before when you've been on the podcast, is James was sitting there taking extensive notes. You are always fantastic at exploiting is not the right word. I'll use it, but it's like exploiting opportunity. Or let me change that word. Creating opportunity. Because you did the same thing at Albany CrossFit. Then you did the same thing with John North, which, I mean, I knew you as a human being, but I never would have said, hey, co-author a book with me because you'd never done it. But then, you do one with John. So I asked you to do it. Obviously, you work with Glenn. You got your next book coming with a very well-recognized CrossFit name, I want to say. So take from this, if you're listening to this episode, James never waited to be asked for something. You were always proactive about it, from showing up at the gym and asking to clean toilets to taking notes from John North, which then became the notes he gave out at his course, which then became a book, right? So you've always been exceptional at that.
Yeah, I mean, I
like how you're just like, yeah, I was exceptional.
No, I don't mean it that way. If you want to be successful at something, or if you want to work at a place, show up and show them that you care.
Show value, provide value. Coaches need to be hearing this. Like a lot of CrossFit coaches these days just expect like, hey, I'll get a raise, or I'll get this, or I'll get that. My box owner will pay for my level 2. It's like, well, it should work both ways. Yes, your box owner should be helping you grow, but I'll tell you what, as a box owner, I want to help the people that want to grow. Show me some initiative. And I'll give you another example, James. Back in the day, you were like, hey, what about if we did an 8:30 p.m. class? And I was like, that's stupid. And you did it. And it was like our most well-attended and certainly most community-based class.
The Dirty 30.
The Dirty 30. But it was like, those people were diehards. They had allegiance to you, and you did a fantastic job with them. And I think, it was just another example of like you willing to say like, I see a need for something here. Let me do it. And by the way, James was on salary. He wasn't getting paid for an additional hour of coaching every day. He was, going to get the same pay regardless if he added that class or not.
Yes. 70 to 80 hour work weeks, not a lot.
I became 81 hours with that class.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that class still around, that time slot?
No. People stopped showing up, it kind of died off over time.
But you held it strong for years.
Yeah, a few years, but if you want to be successful, do the work, show up. But I would say everything that I've been blessed to do is
as a me. Yes, now's not the time to. I don't like to get a.
It is because of the Lord Almighty, not because of Jason Ackerman. I've had so many opportunities, yes, and I capitalized on them, and I did the work, and it was not easy, and also I probably didn't do things very well a lot of the time, and I probably failed here and there. It's just so much has happened over 11 years. But, those opportunities had to come in front of me. And I'm grateful every day to be able to do what I love to do, even on the hard days.
You failed upwards. That's an expression, right? Like you may have failed, but like you always learn from those mistakes. And like I said, you put in the work, because anyone that has their level 3, what that signifies to me is you care about the methodology, you study it, and you live it, and you've certainly done that. I want to dive a little deeper into this book.
Yep.
All right. First of all, what's up?
No, continue.
We're Amazon, I assume.
Yes. Yep. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on OTP Books. On Target Publishing. That's Liberty
Where do you make the
Draper's
most
website.
out of this book if I buy it? Because Amazon, I know, would make like 8 cents a book. Where should people be buying this? So James gets a couple bucks.
I would assume probably OTP is probably better.
It's literally called OTP.com.
Yes.
I'll put that in the show.
Excuse me, OTPbooks.com.
OTPbooks.com. We'll make sure that's in the show notes. Direct link there. But let's talk about the value of this book, because it's not a biography per se. It's going to help people improve their clean and jerk as well as their snatch. And that's Donnie Schenkel on the cover, correct?
Yep, that's Donnie Schenkel on the cover. That was one of Glenn's top athletes. They were dear friends.
OTP. It's a little blurry, but right there, OTP.
And it was so I did John's seminar, and over the course of doing John's book, he told me that Glenn was thinking about writing a book and kind of dabbling in writing a book. And then I thought to myself, well, it'd be cool to meet him one day. I never thought I would help him with his book. And then he had a stroke in 2013 and he couldn't see well. And after that, a couple of years went by and I did a seminar with one of his athletes, Travis Cooper. And at that seminar, I gave him John's book. We took a photo op, and everything.
I've seen that picture. Yeah.
I used to do that.
Will you send me that picture, please?
Yeah. With Travis. Yeah.
And you have a picture with Glenn.
Yeah. I have a picture of Glenn. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll put that in the social media.
Yep. Later, a couple months later, Glenn posted on the old Weightlifting Friends Facebook group, which is still around. And he said, does anyone know the name of the guy that helped John North with his book? And then Travis.
That's so funny. That's so funny that he's like, had really asked about you.
Yeah. Travis responded, hey, that's James McDermott, because we had just met and I just gave him a copy of the book. So we got to talking and then we started working on the book. And right away, he told me he had always wanted to put together a book that a absolute beginner could use when they start the sport of weightlifting. And they would understand how to train. They would understand what to do for technique. It would all be demystified. They would understand programming and understand how to take themselves through a training cycle. And of course, they're encouraged to find a coach. But back when Glenn started weightlifting, coaches were few and far between. Now you can find a coach, a level 1 coach, level 2 coach, almost on every corner. A lot of people have
Starbucks.
Yeah, the credential. So now you have to really find the good coach. But he wanted a book that he wished he would have had when he was a beginner. So that was the main premise when we started to put this thing together.
I'll tell you what this book reminds me of. Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Right? You remember? Did you have that book back in the day?
Oh yeah. There's a picture of Arnold right to my right that says enjoyment. That.
I mean, I had that on my nightstand as a teenager. And you're reading like his programs, different movements you can do. That's what this reminds me of. Like everything you need to know about weightlifting. I would say if there's any glaring miss in the book, it's just there's no pictures of me. There's no pictures of me in here. I mean, look, I don't want to brag, but I got a 185-pound snatch, dude. Like, why am I not in this book?
There is a picture or two of Albany CrossFit in the background. So, I mean, if you go to page 185, I believe it's page 185, you'll see it. I'll flip to it too.
I see it. Who is that?
So that is one of our former coaches at Albany CrossFit and one of my athletes, Louis Vidal.
Yeah,
and he's wearing our Barbell Club T-shirt, but there's Albany CrossFit in the background.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it.
That says, you've at least stood in those spots.
I stood in those spots. I created those spots.
Yeah, you created those spots. I
probably paid for that yoke spots that he's using.
Actually, you did. You did.
Oh, this is fantastic. I just want to make sure people are. Spencer Mormon, that dude tried CrossFit for a little bit, didn't he?
I don't remember. He may have.
I remember. I think he did back in the day. Did a little bit of CrossFit.
There is a video out there And maybe Katie can find this. I hear you guys do this all the time.
Cody,
hey, Katie,
Cody
look
will
it
be
up.
finding it. Katie has graduated.
Okay, promotion.
Not that it's far more important. Cody's job is important as well. But
well, all right,
Katie
congrats.
does the hard hitting stuff right now. What do you need? What's
Congrats
the
on
video?
your promotion. There's a video that you can find of Donnie Schenkel and possibly John North doing Grace.
Oh,
30 clean and jerks for time.
That's it. Keep it up.
Come on, Donnie. It's a minute. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's hit it.
20. 10. Come on. Play 1. Play 2. Come on. 8 more, Donnie. Come on now. Go. Play 3. Play 4.
So got this.
Plenty of time.
Play 5. You gotta keep going.
Just 5 more.
Keep going. Play 6. Come on now. 4 more. Keep going. 7. Knock them out. 2 more, Donnie. All at once. 2 more. And now, walk it out. Yeah.
What's the time?
You beat it. Yeah. 147.
So how you like CrossFit?
That's a moment in time where the weightlifters were starting to come out and be like, what's this CrossFit thing? Oh, let me try that. That's so early, that video.
I remember that. There's also a really good video of Kendrick Ferris doing Grace. And I remember watching it.
Or Isabel.
He's like, oh, maybe it was Isabel. Yeah, you're right.
Oh. Can you do a 15-second video? Yeah. Right over here. I'm going to do a rep, 1 snatch, and you're going to no rep me. Okay? Can you be on your feet for that long?
I don't know.
And then I'm going to
do no rep from right here.
Okay, I'll roll my barbell over here.
Please do.
So how was that? It was your first CrossFit workout?
Big jar suck.
Kendrick in 3, 2, 1, go! Count them!
1! That was 1, everyone! 2! No rep on there! 4!
Let's hear it!
A normal thing?
Well, heck no.
CrossFit workouts?
Heck no. Not right now. Not at this point in my life. You know, I'm training. Want to be ready for the 2016 Olympics. So maybe afterwards for sure, because I'm so intrigued by the workouts.
Turn up, Kendrick! Come on! Turn up!
CrossFit has done an excellent job of making USA Weightlifting relevant again. We've had the people, just not the exposure, and CrossFit is bringing that exposure. Just do the workout. Like, I know how I feel, so I know how I can pace myself. You know what I mean? Like, the first rep was off. I'm so used to hitting them and bringing them back down. That's why you kind of saw me have a little brain fart there. But just get it. Form.
Let's go, a double. Quick double, let's go.
Next one, Kendrick. Let's go.
Go, shoot, come on.
1, 2, baby. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right back. Right on.
Who's got time for me? How much? 321. How many of you could have done on your very first ever CrossFit workout?
But he was so slow. I mean, still a great time. I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes. But it's like, because he moved so well, his reps took longer. Like, he'd hold the position, he'd stand up all the way, and it's like, then you go watch like some of the old videos of people doing it in a minute or 90 seconds, and it's like, you know, this dude, and it just shows, like, you know, like we talk about in programming, with any program, we can find your weakness, right? And Kendrick Ferris can probably snatch more than anyone listening to this podcast. But you do 30 at 135, and all of a sudden it's outside the margins of his experiences.
I would say the fastest I've ever seen Isabel done was at the 2013 Beast of the East competition. And it was a guy that did it in 1 minute and 4 seconds. And it did not look like what
did not look like Kendrick Ferris. Yeah. So, but before we wrap up, they can check it out on Amazon. They can check it out on OTP. What's your favorite part of the book?
My favorite part of the book. Oh, that's tough. I would say my favorite part of the book is how to program for Olympic weightlifting. It's chapter 5, I believe. And it's a part in the book where Glenn, you know, gives all the details on the X's and O's on, all right, squats. Yep, do them, you know, often.
How to write weightlifting programming, chapter 5.
Yep. So all of the details on just how to, like, you know, there's a thing with programming these days on it. People put out stuff and they charge a lot of money for it, and it's very, very overly complicated. But as you can see in the book, if you think about things intelligently, you can put together a simple program, and that will probably be more beneficial than the overly complicated, very expensive program. I remember when talking to him about programming, and we discussed this in the book. One thing I really learned from Glenn was to have confidence in the programming myself. When I first started programming for our barbell club, it was very CrossFit-y, you know. We did a different workout every single day. There was no progression. There was no rhyme or reason. It's just like, all right, let's do snatches today. Then we'll do back squats the next time. Then we'll do clean jerks. I wanted to keep it fresh because I was afraid people wouldn't want to come anymore if all we did was snatch, clean, jerk every single day. And what I learned from Glenn was I have to trust the process as a coach for the process to work. And I have to trust weightlifting if I expect my weightlifters to trust weightlifting. And once I started to do that, we started to get better results, of course, you know, in our barbell club, and athletes started to do bigger, better things. And right now we're on a training cycle where literally all we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday is snatch and clean and jerk, because we're getting very close to competitions. So we're kind of just really focusing on the lifts and doing squats and stuff outside of class.
I want to rattle off a couple of the chapters, but then I have one other question I want to ask you before we wrap up. So you got learning the snatch, learning the clean, learning the jerk, cultural differences in the programming, really breaking down, the different methods, Soviet, Bulgarian, American. Then you got how to write your program. I love that you got, actual programs for beginners, intermediates, advanced, West Side for weightlifters. So a little, Louis Simmons, again, another person that's, passed away, but had a great influence on CrossFitters. And also a section on programming for youth and masters. And then basically how to get ready for competition, like making weight, what to eat, all that cool stuff. To me, I see a lot of box owners these days have books, in their lobby or a little area. Like obviously some of the books they should have, Best Hour of Their Day, of course, but they got Supple Leopard, maybe they got a Rob Wolf book in there for nutrition. This should go in there with everything else. Like it's just another easy value add. I mean, how much is the book if they buy it on OTP? $39.95?
Yep.
Right. So $40, you're going to get somebody that sees this and improves one of their lifts, maybe takes it home and borrows it. And then one last question for you. You do a great job offering a weightlifting program at a CrossFit. Give me like 2 or 3 things that a box owner can do well to implement that at their affiliate.
I would say keep it simple, with the programming, focus on the snatch and the clean and jerk. And then if you're going to add in another thing, squats, and find a program that, is done intelligently, which you can find here, again, as Jay just said, in the American Weightlifting book. And then I would set the expectations. This is something that's very important. And that's something that's important with coaching anywhere you go. Be upfront and honest with your athletes. Weightlifting is going to be hard. So find out, what are their goals? Do they want to compete, or do they just want to get better at the skills for regular class? And then you can meet those goals within the program. You can have some people do this while other people do that. It doesn't always have to be about going super heavy all the time for everybody, but set the expectations that, if you do want to compete, this will be hard and it's going to take a lot of work to get on the podium and to get to that next higher level meet. And you have to do everything that is necessary outside of class along with inside of class to meet those levels. You have to eat well, you have to recover well. For our athletes, the barbell club is like another full-time job for me. It's not just programming. We come in, they snatch, clean, jerk. There's a lot that goes into it, outside of class as well, because we compete pretty regularly. But I would set the expectations for what the course is. Is it just for skills for CrossFit, or is it actually weightlifting? And then I would do actually weightlifting in it and focus on the snatch, clean, jerk.
Love it, James. And by
go
the way,
go out and get your USAW level 1 and level 2
absolutely.
certs.
Absolutely. And by the way, if they pick up the book, the programming's done for them.
Yep.
You would just swipe this programming. You don't have to worry about that. Now you just have to become a better coach. And like James said, I see what you're doing. You got you're traveling with your team. You're coaching them at their meets. Like, what's your Instagram for people that want to check you out?
My personal Instagram is at James A. McDermott. And then the Barbell Club is Albany CrossFit Barbell Club. And then, of course, there's Albany CrossFit. I have like 7 Instagram pages that I have to manage right now.
All good. Well, like I said, please go check out the book. You can also check out James' other books, The Dark Orchestra, also available on Amazon. And of course, Own Your Eating, The Definitive Guide to Flexible Eating, co-authored by me, also on Amazon. And while you're at it, pick up Best Hour of Their Day.
Yeah, get them all. You should have
collect
a shelf
them all
for only those books.
I got the full James McDermott collection. I'm a little upset. I know you probably sent this to me right from the publisher, but it's not autographed.
Yeah, it's right from the publisher. So I'll just have to autograph it in person.
All right, we'll come out to Colorado.
I always think it's better to do those things in person too, rather than to. But if I could just end on a couple of things here. Some people listening may have knew Glenn, right? And they knew that he was a very open, generous person. He would give you the shirt off of his back if you asked for it. over the years, he had countless weightlifters live at his house rent free. All they had to do was do the dishes. And from what I heard, a lot of them didn't. But he would do anything and everything for his athletes because he truly loved weightlifting, and he truly loved making better athletes, but also making better people, which is what Glenn really did. And that's what every coach should aspire to do. So if someone knew Glenn who is listening and he affected you in some way, pay it forward. You know, he gave a lot to CrossFit. He gave a lot to weightlifting. So, you don't share his book for, I'm not interested in sales. I'm interested in people remembering his legacy. I finished it because he was my friend, and it was his dream to put this book together. And I'm so sad he'll never be able to hold it, but that's why I did it. I didn't do it for sales, and neither did the publisher either. Laree Draper did this, and she worked with us out of the goodness of her heart because she knew Glenn and she thought that this was important. So pay it forward. On the day before he passed, he was in the gym coaching. So he had stage 5 metastatic cancer, and he was still in so much pain, sitting in a chair, watching lifts and encouraging athletes. How many coaches listening can say that they're ready to do that? So pay it forward. And I'll read the quote on the back of the book because I think it's a fantastic quote from Glenn. Success in weightlifting isn't measured by the size of the mark we left on the sport, but by the size of the mark the sport left on us. So just something, to take with you as you're done listening to the episode.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.